You're listening to the Beautiful Minds Podcast.
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 The Beautiful Minds Podcast with Marlon Dundas.
All right, so this is the first Millennial Perspective of this year, 2018. This is a review of Black History Month. Usually it's Marlon Dundas and Brittany Davidson, but Brittany got caught up, and she'll be here a little bit later. So I have my trusty confidant here, Sydney Reynolds.
Yes. Hello, people.
Sydney is a man of many talents, so I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
I'm Sydney Reynolds, music artist out of New York City, Harlem, and I'm here with Marlon. We're about to talk. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
What's up?
All right, man. So this month, we're gonna review the Black History Month.
From the Black History Month.
Oh Jesus, okay. Yes. Every African out there is gonna slap the taste out of my mouth.
Oh, man.
Sydney, we're gonna do it from our perspective as Black Millennials, though. So,
okay.
We're gonna kind of offer all of our viewers an introspective view into how our life's experiences have shaped how we react to this month.
Okay.
First and foremost, as a Black Millennial, from your perspective, what do you think of Black History Month?
I don't know.
How important is it? Is it just there for show?
I don't know. It goes back and forth with me. I mean, I go back and forth with it, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me feels like, you know, we've done so much for this country to the point where Black history should just be American history. It shouldn't, we shouldn't have a month dedicated to us.
Are you saying that we're beyond having to have Black history?
I think we're beyond.
You think we're beyond having?
I think we are. I think we've contributed so much to how this society and how this country works that to reduce us down to a month that, you go to school and your teacher teaches you about Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman and all these people for this 1 month only. But for the rest of the year, they're learning about everything else. And I think we should be teaching kids about these figures and history just as much as we talk about anything else, because it is American history.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other half of me feels like, well, hey, maybe we do need the month to just kind of brush up on what's going on, or like our history. Maybe, these kids wouldn't have learned about X, Y, and Z on their own. Maybe we do need it. So I kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, I think Black History Month, why it's important to me at least, is like, I mean, we wouldn't have a need for HBCUs right now if Black History Month was so integrated in American history and accepted. I don't think it's accepted just yet. I think it's there.
Yeah.
I think as time goes on, more and more people are going to start seeing how.
Yeah, I think we're unintentionally forcing them. It's being forced on them.
But then Charlottesville happened.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh no, that there's some people who are not even going to. Granted, it's a small part of the country, whatever, but it's a wake up call to a lot of people who think that Black history is going to be so integrated in society, and it should be. There's a pushback to it. There's people who want to keep America white.
Oh, of course, because America has been white.
But then that's why Black History Month is so important, though.
Yeah.
It's because like we're showing them that no, we do belong here. But then it's kind of like on the other end to like argue against my own argument. Are we just speaking to the choir at that point?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are 50-50 with Black History Month. We appreciate it, but we're in a weird place where I don't know. It's like, where do you stand with it? I really don't know. But if it whatever brings positivity, that's what I say. Despite my views or my opinion, if it's doing more good than bad, then I'm down with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of ironic though, because during Black History Month, and you and I discussing that how do we move forward?
Yeah.
We both acknowledge that there may not be a need that Black history is American history. We did just celebrate the birth, the death actually of Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Was it 2 days ago?
Yeah,
Yesterday?
I believe so.
Yeah. And it's during Black History Month, and it's that story in and of itself shows like a microcosm of this country, how they react to Black people.
Yeah.
It's a kid, 13-year-old kid walking home from the corner store
Yeah.
with some Skittles and a bottle of a Snapple, right? That what he
Yeah.
had?
No, it's Arizona.
In Arizona. And you get profiled because you have a hood on.
Yeah.
Because there's certain connotations about what being Black is with a hood.
Yeah, and I actually said this to somebody the other day. I was like, in this country, all over the world, Black people are painted this way, but in this country specifically, I think there's this negative thing, this negative cloud all over all Black people, or they think we're like fucking dangerous and we're gonna rape their wives and children, and like there's just chaos that comes with us. And I can walk on the elevator, next to some little old white lady with my hoodie and some sweatpants, and she clutches her purse.
Yeah.
Not because she had a bad experience with a Black guy. It's because of what society has taught her. When she turns the TV on and she sees, Jamal just shot Tristan in front of McDonald's over $1. She has a picture painted of us now versus a white kid that gets into the elevator with you with some sweatpants and a hoodie. You think he just came from gym or practice.
So you're saying that part of it's our fault?
No, part of it. I mean, I don't want to necessarily say it's our fault, because I do believe in the whole like Willie Lynch theory and how it's affected us as a culture, and I feel like we're just products of that today, where there's violence and gang activity and murder happening in our communities, but those people are just a product of their environment, really. And that's not to give them an out or anything, but it just is what it is. This doesn't happen. Well, let's not say that, because this white kid just shot up the school. But the things that they target us on, we don't really see that in white communities. We don't really see like
but okay, I get it. Yeah, we don't see it in white communities, but white communities also have more resources to do.
That's what I mean by when I say we're a product of our environment. You throw a bunch of people, in broken homes with nothing. They don't have any money, but they got TV.
Right.
They can turn the TV on and see the Migos and all their jewelry and all these people that they may look up to, whether you're an athlete or artist or whatever, and they aspire to be these things because they don't really have any structure or anybody at home telling them that they can be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Is that like a call to action to like, hey, like we gotta show better for ourselves? Like, how do we like? There's two ways that you can go when you're looking at how to combat that, right? One way can be, hey, like have the wherewithal to understand that we're all not that. Me and you and Stanley on the camera. We're not gonna try to rob you because we're Black and we have a hood on. You have a hood on. That don't mean you're about to go rob somebody.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like you can look inward as well and be like, we need to start showing better parts of our own culture, parts of our own selves. Right?
Yeah, I believe so. I also think we've been conditioned to be selfish too, in ways where, like I said before, we grow up in this place where we don't have anything. So the moment we do get something, whether it be money or information or whatever, we chose to hold it rather than letting it go. And I think the mentality is, I don't want anyone to take this from me.
Yeah.
So I got to protect it.
Yeah.
Where we should just let everything go. We should, the moment, I learned something, I should give that information to somebody else so they can do it for somebody else. The moment I have money, why not show my friend or my brother or my sister how to use it? and that it can be used as a tool and doesn't necessarily have to be this like thing that you chase after and you feel like it's going to solve all your problems. I feel like we just need to give more and kind of be selfless and just, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess a slave to humanity, really.
Yeah, like we got to look at things from much more of a community aspect.
Yeah, I think so.
More communal.
Yeah,
like if I eat, we all eat, kind of thing, right?
Because we don't have that, and it's hard to have that when you don't have anything.
Right. So, it's a heavy question for me to ask. How do we combat that? Somebody has to be willing.
I don't know.
Has to be willing to take less.
Yeah, and when you say somebody, it's not a somebody. It's like a group of people, and that's the problem. Is that we are a group of people who, we've been snatched from our home. Our history has been snatched from us. We don't really know who we are. We don't really know where we fit in. And we're trying to function in today's society. And Black people are just everywhere. We're doing some of everything. We're like over here, we're over there. We don't know how to be on the same page. But I think the answer to our problems calls for us to be on the same page. And that's why I think fixing this problem with Black people is so hard.
So what is the same page though?
The same.
Do you? It's like kind of like the Killmonger versus T'Challa argument, right? Because we're gonna talk about Black Panther. It's like
Black Panther.
Exactly.
Yes.
God, we just lost all the African.
And this is exactly how Forrest Whitaker pronounced Black Panther.
I'm not African. And when I heard, I'm not.
His accent was trash.
Yeah, I'm not from Africa directly. But hearing that accent, I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
gosh. All right, but here's the thing. So, that's like the argument that's like that makes up the bulk of the plot.
Yeah.
Of Black Panther is what is your definition of being a Black person, and what is your identity? Like, what is it? And what does that identity? Where does that identity lead you? Like, how do you deal with it? How do you use that identity to make your imprint on the world? And T'Challa, his identity was that of culture, of like it was passed on culturally, directly to him too, right? It was taught to him by the people around him.
Yeah,
and he was not just Black. T'Challa knew that he was Wakandan. Is that what?
Yeah.
Right. And Killmonger on the other end, Eric, was us. Black,
yeah,
because Black was what you're right. Black was what he was forced to, is like what we are all forced to, what's the word? Call ourselves, because we don't know what our cultural identity is.
Yeah,
and then he has to identify what his his individual identity is after that.
Yeah.
In a world that you just outlined for us, where if you wear a hoodie, you're automatically dangerous. In a world where you're coming from a part of the neighborhoods where it's forgotten.
And there's nothing but bad things on the news about it. Like,
so you see a person who found his identity. He created his own identity for him through his own experiences, and that's a huge argument that was played out in front of us, because like we all have that. We all have that argument in the back of our minds all the time.
The time. Like no matter if it deals with any social issue or any like issue about anything, gender bias, like all these different things. I feel like we're just always on a different page all the time, and we're always fighting for something, but we're not all fighting for I feel like the end goal for everyone is to be respected, to be happy, but there's so much going on in between that we don't find a open pathway to what we need.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Do you think that being do you think that we can ever get to a point where different identities of what being Black is can be accepted?
I think they are accepted. I think, well, in some degree, I feel like,
and not be harmful to each other as well.
Wait, ask me that question.
Do you think that we can get to a point where different identities of what being Black is can be accepted, and then also
accepted by who?
Internally and externally. Like, this is like me. My identity as a Black man is such that I don't. I don't judge you for what your identity of a Black man is. Mm-hmm. You can be you. You can be individually Sydney, who is a Black man. I can be individually Marlon, who is a Black man. Or, can that happen? Or do you think that the playing field that we're working on doesn't allow us to have that luxury? Because at the end of the day, it's still a nigga.
Yeah, that you just answered it. I mean, well, you pretty much said what I was going to say. Yeah. Because, like when I brought the story up of, I was talking to a few women about some women issues that they were having and being Black and transgender in this country. And they were, trying their best to do what they can do to help that situation or help that cause. And just, because I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to be viewed as a human being.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like they're choosing sides because they don't want to be Black or whatever. But, what I said to them is, cool, if you get all this shit done, that's fine and dandy, but you're still Black. That's still an issue here. You're still going to get shot by a police officer, and there's going to be an uproar on social media, and we're going to tweet your name for 2 weeks. And then after that, there's a new season of fucking Breaking Bad on TV, mm-hmm. and we don't really care about it anymore. Or maybe there's so much going on that I forgot to care, and I don't really see anybody else tweeting about it, so maybe I'm not going to. And then you just get brushed under the fucking rug.
Right.
And, I think we just aren't, this playing field just doesn't allow us to be human. We are Black first here, unfortunately. And either we come together, which sounds so cliche, but either we come together and figure something out, because we don't all have to scream and shout the same shit, but we have to move in unison in some way for us to move forward.
It's interesting that you said that too, because it was a year or so ago, Barack Obama had a speech at I think it was Howard. He had this speech at, and it was they were talking about she's here late, right? And they were talking about how, well, he said this. He says, I acknowledge that there is a need for activism. There is a need for us to have a voice and to do more for each other. But the fact of the matter is that it's still better. Times now are better than when he was in college. He said it's not as bad as it was when I was in college. And he said that, and you kind of, okay, now let me think about it. And then a few months later, LeBron James, who's the best athlete on the planet right now, gets nigger spray painted across the front gates of his mansion.
And that didn't surprise me at all.
But it was I want to believe, I want to be yeah, we don't gotta, we don't have to worry about this anymore. We're good. And then it's just well, no, nigga, hold up. This, no.
But that's what they want, and I don't know who they is, but I feel like they want us to kind of move on and think that everything is okay.
Yeah.
But there are people in this country that will remind you that it isn't. Mm-hmm. And then it opens your eyes to, wait, nothing's okay. Let's really dig deep into this. How many of us know the law? How many of us know, shit, my bad. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Yeah, but how much? No, what's the legal process?
Yeah,
right?
How many of us know how much freedom we actually have in this country? Do we? Because when we start to read between the fine lines, and we figure out that this country is kind of against me. Everything that I want to do to move forward kind of works against my favor. And you take someone like LeBron James, who is the most famous athlete on planet Earth right now, but that still happens to him.
Right? Yeah.
You know, what do you do with that? Like, what it makes you feel like you're not human.
And then also in the same breath, like, you're talking about how we need to come together and find a common ground within ourselves first so we can move forward and be able to have a stronger argument, a stronger stance in the world, right? And then that happened to LeBron James, and then Fox Sports 1 has an analyst, Jason Whitlock, who comes out and says, reacts to LeBron James's comments, saying that, that just shows that no matter how far you get in this world, some people, racism still going to exist.
Racism always going to exist.
Jason Whitlock, another black man in a prominent role in the media who has now a better chance to use his voice for change, says LeBron James should shut up about racism. Okay. Why?
Okay.
Because he has money, and racism comes with classism.
Okay.
With wealth. Now, I believe it's all horseshit, so I'm not even going to try to defend it.
We're not even going to.
But that still exists, though. You know what I mean?
And
like,
you see,
there's still that infighting in
yeah, you're
us.
right. It's like they don't even have to do anything anymore. We're doing it for them, and that's what I meant by we don't all have to be shouting the same thing, but we have to move in unison, because if not, it's easy to break us apart.
Right.
There's this scene in what's the name of this movie? Planet of the Apes, where Caesar, the lead role monkey dude, is talking to his hitman or whatever, and he's like, I think the big ape shit. I don't know what type of fucking monkey primate this is, but yeah, he was telling Caesar bro, do you really think we should do this?
Yeah.
And Caesar picks up a twig, and he's like, it's easy to break one of us. And he grabs a whole bunch of twigs, and he tries to do the same thing. He's like, well, together, you can't break us, And going back to this LeBron James thing, imagine if that guy would have backed LeBron.
Yeah.
What would the outcome have been then? Would the next black person in a position of power could have used his voice for good, and then it just keeps going. But when you got somebody doing something or trying to do something positive or speak out against injustice or whatever it is, and then you got somebody that looks just like you telling you to shut up about it. What I mean, right. We're doing it. How
could you be taken seriously at that point? Right?
Not that how can you be taken seriously, but how do we move forward if there's a fight and there's a fight happening internally?
Right.
We got to fix us before we can fix anything about our place in this world.
Yeah.
And if we don't do that, it's never going to happen, in my opinion. I would love to see a different outcome. People thought us having a black president was this amazing.
Oh yeah,
thing.
we thought, yeah.
But
one man,
still
one
America,
man can't. But the system is set up so that one man can change that. Now, hold on, before we go forward.
Yeah, I hope I answered your question. I feel like
you did, but I just would rather you not use a group of monkeys as an example as to why it is that we can be stronger.
And that's another, and it's funny that you say that. It's another thing too, because we carry so much trauma that the moment someone that isn't black refers to anything monkey related, we kind of get tense.
Yeah.
And
I hear you.
And it's because I'm thinking about the whole H&M situation, and
his mom, the kid's mother, was like, so.
Yeah,
that was another thing too.
That was weird too.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking as a kid, right? Let's say I really like gorillas or monkeys or something, and I wanted to wear, because if a white kid had that sweater on, it would have been perfectly fine.
Cool.
Cute, he's a monkey. But the moment that a black kid wears it, it's you can't do that. There's so many unwritten rules and shit that goes on with us
because
as a people.
Because it's kind of like that connotation's been used against us.
Yeah,
for so long,
of course, and I totally agree. And that's the poison that still follows us in this country. And we as Americans, hopefully this can happen. But unless we talk about that shit, none of this is going to change. Unless we talk about all the ills in the world and what's happening in America, or what's happened in America. If we're not willing to all sit down and talk about racism and talk about how unfair it is, and for certain people or people of color, period, or talking about what they've done in the past to be where they are today, or like how they've used us and abused us and broken our people down, we're not moving forward, bro, because everyone's ignorant to what kind of put this country in the place that it's in today. And that's white and black. There's some white people our age that don't know their history.
Right.
And that's probably why we can say certain things today and it will offend them, or they'll offend us.
Yeah.
I think about black girls with afros, and when they go to school and they're wearing different hairstyles, and that little white girl comes up to them like, "Can I touch your hair?" There's a reason why that's happening. She's not being offensive on purpose, but
ignorant, yes.
Yeah,
offensive,
she's ignorant
yeah.
to who you are. And
Yeah.
we're supposed to be American. Why are we so ignorant about other people's culture and, what can I say or what can I say next to you?
Yeah, it's funny you said that too, because I remember I had a conversation with some friends of mine when I was in college, and they were discussing somebody in their classroom who came to them after class and said, I never had a black person in my class before.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Where are you from?" "I'm from upstate New York." "We're in the same state." "Yeah, we're in like upstate New York. Like there's in my school, there wasn't that many black people.
Yeah.
And none of my classes up until this point in my life have ever had a black person in it."
Wow.
Whoa. Not until they got to college
That's crazy.
in the United States. But then again, we're talking about this from a perspective of two kids who are from New York City.
Yeah.
Was it 8 million people? The most diverse
Yeah. This is
city
like
in
a
the
melting
world.
pot of everything.
But it's
like
a
here,
bubble though that it creates, because that's not the reality of the rest of the country.
Yeah.
The reality is that
Totally.
African Americans make up 15% of this country. I think Hispanics are 8, and then Asians are about 5. I think it is.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, like that's a huge other demographic left there, right?
is.
And
when you're from a city like this, you tend to forget that there's a world going on outside of your block, and like people, if you walk in the wrong neighborhood, they will stare at you like you're a fucking alien.
and
They will make you feel uncomfortable.
Oftentimes that happened out there too. We'd go to the mall and people will look at us like, but not maliciously, kind of like,
it's because
gazing.
They're not used to seeing
gaze.
you. That's why when you go to fucking China or some shit like that, like
I have stories for days about that.
They taking pictures of black people like, "Oh my God, I've never seen you before." But
I expect that more in China than I do here in my own home state. But it's just I'm a product of a bubble, the same way that they are, just a different form of a bubble.
Yeah.
New York City has kind of skewed my perspective on what the outside world is going to offer me, and the fact of the matter is, the outside world is not going to offer me it's not going to present the same playing field that which I perceive New York City to be.
Yeah,
where I can walk a block and see every nationality, which is important. Why it's important to travel, right? So, what did you think about Black Panther? The significance of Black Panther. It's like the biggest story between our age group today. People are all going crazy about it.
I'm not going to talk about how I feel about the movie as a movie, like, because I'm just like a film geek and there's certain things I look for. I have like
too much CGI.
Yeah, like I have like a checklist in my head of what a great film is. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to get into that. But the importance of the film is what I'm most excited about. What I was most excited about seeing when I went to go see Black Panther. I saw like so many people of color, every race, nationality, everybody came out, and some people dressed up. I saw people taking pictures in front of the posters, and like little black boys running up to the posters, pointing at different characters, saying, "Oh, this one is me. I'm this one. Oh no, I'm Black Panther." Like that made me so happy, bro, because we need that, and it's kind of sad at the same time, because it shows you how deprived we were of these positive images of Black people.
Dreams are powerful, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we spoke about this off air, so we're gonna rehash it a little bit. I was reading an article that was trying to make a case for Shuri being T'Challa's sister, who was the brainchild of all of the technology in modern day Wakanda, where Black Panther took place, where majority of the Black Panther took place. If you look back on movies like Hunger Games, I think it was Tomb Raider, and there's another movie. I keep forgetting the other movie.
You said it was. Did you say Harry Potter? Or no?
I think it might. No, it wouldn't be Harry Potter because the point I'm about to make. Nobody's gonna enroll as a wizard.
Okay.
But it was
something along those lines of
it was a movie with a strong female lead.
Okay.
Who was doing something that was unconventional in the guise of like what a woman's supposed to do. Okay. Cultural norms, society norms, or whatever. And it was the statistics was just like every time these movies came out, like especially let's go with Hunger Games. When Hunger Games came out, they had a spike in the amount of women or young girls who enrolled in archery schools. Yeah. And then what ended up happening was I think a record amount of women or girls signed up for the Olympic team or the Olympic trials or whatever.
Yeah, man. And that wasn't a coincidence either. I think it came directly from little girls going to see those films and saying, hey, like, I can do that. Like, I don't have to like play with a Barbie doll all day. Like, I can actually
looks just like me.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that's important for children to see that. You know, like school, and I'm just speaking for like the education system here, but I don't think they do enough with children and their imagination, which is to me the most important thing when it comes to a child, because this is the time in their lives where it's easy to mold them and kind of show them that
it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
But you know, in one end, you gotta struggle with practicality versus like.
But who's to say? I mean, I'm not going to show my daughter a movie about a unicorn and she's like, "Yeah, daddy," and I'm like, "Yeah, you can be that girl."
But then there's definitely videos online of kids trying to do Kamehamehas.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
that don't count, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So there's a balance that has to be had there. But you're right though. Like we do. But
I just mean important images. You know,
yeah, I get that. But like there needs to be a healthy balance. So like, hey, listen, relax. Yeah. No, you're not gonna turn into Goku overnight. But
if you wanna
take martial arts and be able to defend yourself and be able to live that lifestyle. Yeah, like,
or if you want to protect the planet, you know, he likes to play that role too. You know, there's different ways you can kind of like.
I remember this is a guy I used to work with, huge guy, like he was a bodybuilder or whatever. And one day I was joking with him. I'm like, dude, like why? Like you got this like savior complex. He's like, yeah. He's like, I grew up in Batman, bro. That's all I wanted to do was save people. I want to be a police officer too. I was like, oh, wow. Like,
but he doesn't want to dress up.
It programmed him. Yeah, no, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
God, thank God he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person to have to tell him, brother, don't do that.
Brother, please.
Yeah.
Put some jeans on.
But it was like yes. That's a good example of how it can manifest itself. That reality that dream could turn into a reality in a more practical sense, right?
And that's how you were trying to like bring the whole Black Panther thing. And,
yeah.
You know, girls seeing her. I mean, like, who knows? You know, we could have a bunch of
Black girls who think that who aspire to be some aspect, like, you know, of STEM, like within STEM.
That alone is important because they are the future. You know, as cliche as that sounds too, but children are the future. Children,
literally, yes.
Yeah, they are literally, and you know, it's really them that's going to shape how things are going to be. And I think it's up to us to kind of put those images out there and put that information out there so they can soak it up and really help change shit for the future and not just like end up like Bad Bobby or something like that. The girl from Dr. Phil that has a rap career.
Oh, you mean what's her name? No, not.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
The Cash Me Outside girl.
Yeah, Cash Me Outside girl.
But that
she doesn't want to do anything to help the planet.
As a college-educated young black man, right? Nothing gets me more angry when I saw
that's crazy
how much she made in 2017.
Bro, she dropped a fire record though. I ain't gonna even lie.
I was walking home.
Hey, bitch.
I was walking home. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm tired, and I just hear like this car coming down the street. I'm like,
"Oh, they're bumping her in real life."
Yes,
damn,
yes, sir.
Bro.
I did a hard double take, and I just shook my head. Like, here I am, like worried about the plight of the young black man. And this kid could not give two damns about it.
Nah.
So, anyways, do you think that? Do you think though, even though you don't really, I guess, identify with us needing to have with the idea that we should need a Black History Month. Do you think it's effective though?
Yes, I do. That's why I kind of keep my opinion to myself about it, because despite how I feel about Black History Month, it brings awareness. So, like I said before, if it's doing positive work, then you can't be mad at it.
Right.
Like sometimes you kind of have to take your selfish, views and point of views away from things and just look at the bigger picture. And I think the bigger picture is, this is how we learn in this country, and hopefully in the future we can make it more of a cohesive thing and kind of add it to our daily lives about who these Black Americans were and what they, brought to this country. So I think that's important. I think that's important for white and Black kids to know, for Chinese kids to know, kids are all over the world, like from all over. I think it's important. And I think it's important that we learn about their culture as well.
But I think your stance is fair though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we should need a Black History Month,
but today we like.
But it's effective.
We shouldn't need
where
one.
we are today.
Yeah,
it's effective. That's fair. That's totally fair. That's actually admirable. Like, you're not accepting where we are.
Yeah. Because
you're looking at where we could be and where we should be. Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel.
You said it. We shouldn't need a Black History Month, but these are the cards we've been dealt, and we need it. We need it. So, because if we didn't have Black History Month, the way things are now, we would never talk about anybody. We wouldn't bring Martin Luther King's name up for nothing. That's how I feel. If there was no Martin Luther King Day and we didn't have Black History Month, in today's climate, we would never bring that man's name up. Never. We just scroll and watch another Kardashian have another baby.
They are populating the world, aren't they?
But yeah, wow. That's just how I feel.
Can you how do I put this? Can you be pro-Black but not anti anything else?
Yeah, of course. I'm pro-Black and not anti anything else. I mean, like, just because I love me.
It's a stupid question. I just wanted you to answer.
Yeah. I mean, that was I think that's like, I don't know. Some people are confused because you do have some people who are pro-Black.
But you need that. Like, so I heard this before, and it's very controversial when this person said it. And it was a white man who said it. So, but it wasn't in regards to Black people. It was just in general of any argument, any spectrum. When you're looking to make an argument on and you're on a different side of another person or another ideal system, you need somebody who's more radical than you are, because it will make your argument much more appreciated by the person who you're trying to argue with or argue against. it makes you appreciate the middle more when there's somebody out there just like, I don't even look at white people. I don't even look at anybody else. Like, I'm all about melanin. Like, that's all it is. Like, and then,
But don't you think that's still...
It's divisive.
Yeah, and it kind of tarnishes
our platform. The platform that we're in is that our negatives are the negative connotations about us are magnified, and then the positives about us are divided.
Yes.
And we don't need that. I know, but I do know that having that conversation every once in a while about, hey, you're not like the rest of them, as uncomfortable as it is, it does help me feel. It doesn't allow me the opportunity to defend being moderate or meeting somebody halfway.
I get what you're trying to say.
Because I've had that before where somebody's like, you're not like the rest of them. And before I was like, I'm smack the taste out of this
When
person.
you say not the rest of them, you talking about the
black
rest of
men.
them? Okay.
You're not like the rest of black men.
Yeah.
And I ask, what do you mean? I'm like, fuming, ready to go. Like at first, very first time.
Because it's not it never comes off it, because I've gotten that growing up too. Like, yo, Sid, you speak proper. Are you gay? Like, how do we jump to that?
I've had that before, yeah.
Like, just because I pronounce words right, you think I'm gay.
Yeah.
You think I'm getting mad.
Because I speak English the way English is supposed to be spoken.
Yeah,
yes.
you know what I'm saying? And it's ignorance coming from them because they're used to black men being a certain type of way. But when we receive that information, growing up, no one thought we were cool.
Yeah.
For fucking liking to read and watch like geeky shit or like be into anything that didn't involve the streets. We were like laughed at.
Yeah.
So for someone that looks like me to tell me you're not like the rest of black men, it kind of hurts because growing up, we've been kind of like wanting approval from that side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when you grow up, you realize, oh, like that side's kind of lost.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to be the one to kind of
bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I was always blessed and cursed by going to schools that were outside of my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Blessed in a way that I was able to see different perspectives. Cursed because I was always the outsider, and it's a lot for a young kid to dissect when people are looking at you in a way. Kids are assholes.
Yeah, kids are, and I love it.
And they'll look at your hair and be like, "Oh my God, you have a Brillo pad on your head."
Yeah,
I've heard that. I've had that. I had a Brillo pad in my head.
Isn't that beautiful though? Like, I know I'm not advocating bullying at all or anything, but I feel like growing up with that is amazing.
Well,
like,
if you get through it.
Yeah, if you get through it.
Because you could crumble under the pressure of it, but it's a beautiful thing once you can overcome it and be able to tell your story. Yeah,
because the real world isn't this like fluffy place that society kind of prepares you for.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what you're getting into.
And then you look at you're able to then turn to a kid who you see yourself in going through what you've been going through, and you're like, hey man, it's all right.
You want to protect that.
Yeah,
you know,
like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to go to a neighborhood, to go to a school in a neighborhood where everybody's looking at you sideways. That means that now you have a greater opportunity to show that you're not different from the rest of them, and it's going to be hard.
Show that you are different.
You are different, but your different shouldn't be
a negative.
Yeah. It shouldn't be rejected. It should be embraced. And I think I lost my point where I was getting at here.
I don't know, but what you're explaining kind of goes back to the point you were trying to make earlier, or the question that you asked me is, are we able to just be black but be different in this country? I think that's what you were asking me.
Oh, right. There we go. Yeah.
Some of these things kind of stop that from happening because,
in what way though?
Because we all come in different flavors, different sizes. We like different things. We're just all different.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will make you feel uncomfortable about being different, and they kind of force you or kind of make it easier for you to fit inside that black box where you have to speak a certain way or carry yourself a certain way or have like this chip on your shoulder or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the fucking stereotypes about us.
Right.
But it makes it easier to fit into that instead of being you and flying. You know what I mean? So
as I'm getting older too, I've been a lot more like proud of me.
Yeah.
I've been so proud of like being different, being that black kid who likes anime. Now it's cool. I remember when it was weird. I remember people used to. I remember I wouldn't have dreamed about telling anybody in freshman year of high school that I was watching Naruto and watching Dragon Ball Z. Like I would never have dreamed about it. Now everybody wants to watch anime. I would never have dreamed about telling people that I used to listen to rock music. Yeah. Now everybody's like,
now that's normal. Like
now everyone wants to cross over. Like it's like I used to like those things, and I did it in private. And the point for me where it all changed was, I think I had nothing. I had nowhere else to turn but myself. Because sophomore year of high school, I was miserable, and it was because kids are assholes. Yeah, and I was being questioned in how black I was and how Guyanese I was, because apparently I didn't have an accent, so that means I wasn't born there, even though I was born there and lived there for 10 years. And now looking at it, it's like a silly thing to be stressed out about. But at 13, 12 years old, of course I'm going to be.
Because that's all you got. Yeah. Like, even for me, coming from Harlem.
I'm not developed, Yeah,
like, you got certain guys out there that carry themselves a certain way. And, you grow up in a broken home and you're kind of looking for acceptance. And these people telling you that you're not what you are. It makes you feel like shit, because you want to, it's all you got. Yeah. That's what you're thinking. Yeah. But I don't know. I think that's just a young thing.
And it's like, that misguidedness gets perpetuated onto those kids who are not developed yet. And then it can lead to a cycle of misguidedness again. Because now that kid's going to change and try to acquiesce to what the identity of being black is. Yeah. And then that's going to create a whole culture within that kid's community, and like that kid's gonna acquiesce to that culture in the community, and it's gonna change. It's gonna change him or her, and whatever intended change they can bring to the world is gonna be altered because they weren't allowed to flourish and be themselves. And I think that's where I feel my importance is right now, and why our importance is right now for us having this conversation. Is like I want to be able to show somebody this one day, like, hey, like. Listen to this. Like, I went through all this stuff. Yeah, like, what you going through?
Like, you're not alone.
Yeah, those people who are talking to you, whatever. 10 years from now, they're gonna love you for the same thing that they're talking down on you about. So, I think that's
so true, man.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up on that. I mean, I think we hit everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. No shoot. So, before we get out of here, so. I'm gonna start wrapping these up with like the one big story from somebody who's associated with the Beautiful Minds. I'm going to try to. So my Beautiful Mind of the month goes to the Cannabis Cultural Association. Yes. Their founders Nelson Guerrero and Jake Plowden and Leland Rabdonovich. I hope I got that right. And amongst others, successfully filed a lawsuit against the federal government to remove cannabis from the banned substance list in some way, shape, or form. It's being. I read a quote from Nelson. He's been on a podcast before. We've worked together, and if you call whatever this is work, I love doing it. And
do what you love, man.
Nelson referenced something that really struck a chord with me, and they said that in inner cities, cannabis is being policed to the fullest extent of the law, and on people who don't have the means to which to defend themselves. Although it is legal in other communities and other in other marketplaces, and it's unfairly targeted. That policing is unfairly targeted on people who look like us.
Yo, I mean, it's happening here, man.
Exactly. And I find that fight to be a beautiful fight. I've never smoked weed a day in my life. And you'll probably notice when I do start smoking weed, I'll stop saying that.
Hey, listen, if you want to start today, I got you.
I will not incriminate myself on airways. But
this podcast is being recorded in Colorado.
So, but it's a very. I hope I got the details right. I think I got it right enough. Yeah. because legal jargon tends to put me to sleep. But it's a beautiful fight, and there's everywhere you look on social media, they're not shy about what they're doing.
That's beautiful.
They have memes that they've created of Jeff's sessions, and it's like when the Cannabis Culture Association sues the shit out of you and stuff like that, and it's like they're really going for it. And one of the things that took me aback about the entire organization was how organized they are, how well resourced they are, and how smart these kids are as well. And these aren't kids. I'm sorry. These are grown people who have deep knowledge of what they're doing and why they're doing it. And I support it, and I hope they win because it's stupid. Yeah. It's just flat out stupid.
But, and this just goes back to my point about moving in unison. You know what I mean? Like, here you have a group of people who are coming together to fight for a cause.
Yeah.
And, you put all these brains in the same room with the same passion, and you guys come up with a plan to kind of
make the world a better place.
Make the world a better place. Make the world a better place for you.
Right.
Because the world's cool, but not for people that look like us.
Yeah.
And it seems like what they're doing is making change, or it's like it's waking somebody up.
Yeah.
And I just wish my people could come together on a larger scale and kind of it's not like this. I want this big wave of change to happen, but I want us to just start to come together more so we can like tackle issues that way, because that's the only way we're gonna win is if we like do it together.
Yeah, I think well, that's the podcast is over. I'm gonna leave it on that. But I'm probably not gonna call it the Millennial Perspective, just because I feel like this is a lot more than just that.
Yeah. You should call it Black Panther.
No, we're not gonna do that. I really want to continue to do these podcasts, and I'm not gonna. And quite frankly, it still being Black History Month.
Man,
I don't want Africans shunning my podcast. No, I'm playing, but yeah, I do want to be able to. I'm going to title this, and I'm going to number it as an actual official podcast.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to double dip this in Millennial Perspective and Beautiful Minds podcast as well. So Sydney Reynolds, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Plug us up. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me on social media, Instagram, Twitter. I don't do much of that, but From Sid, FROMSYD.
That's on Instagram.
That's on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh, same name. Wow.
Yeah. Tumblr, if you want to look at that.
That's still around?
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. If you're looking for me, that's how you find me. Yeah, man.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much.